This is the biggest dilemma I face as someone who teaches about early retirement. I'm here to teach you real retirement, not just retirement on paper, not just having the money to retire early, but not having the so called balls or guts to retire early. But every single time I talk about the truth, people think it's all BS. What do you mean mindset? What do you mean everything starts with the mind? Mine is just like nothing. I just need the action. Just tell me exactly what to do, which stocks to invest in. Just tell me exactly what are your 17 income streams. What are the steps you took to retire early? The truth is, I can tell you all that, and I have. I posted plenty of videos explaining exactly what are the steps that I took. But the truth is, it really starts from your mind. Because even if you were to follow the exact same steps, and if you were lucky enough to get the exact same result, which is actually kind of rare because timing also matters, and your income streams also have to fit with who you are. But let's say even if you were to get the same amount of money, same amount of income, same amount of net worth, chances are you still won't be able to retire early if you don't have the mindset. And just take a look at all of these Fat Fire forums, subreddits. You'll see a bunch of people with a bunch of money and they still don't feel safe to retire early. This is where mindset comes to play, because retiring early is never just about having the money. You see a bunch of people having a bunch of money, a lot more than me, and they're not retired early because the mindset is not there. The truth is, retiring early isn't really about having a specific amount of money, like having an FI number. Like that's one of the many ways to retire early. But even if you were to hit that FI number, if you don't have the proper mindset, if you still feel so-called unsafe, which is a sign that you don't have the proper mindset, you cannot retire early. That's why I emphasize mindset so many times on my page, even though every single time people tend to think that it is just bogus, that it's just fluff, but it is really not fluff. It is a hard requirement. In order to so-called feel safe to retire early, you have to have the proper mindset, or else you're gonna retire early like what I did and feel very miserable. I did not have the mindset. The biggest reason why I retired early is because I got fired and my mental health could not handle getting another job. So I was almost like forced into early retirement. Those were honestly my darkest times. And it's very counterintuitive because most people look at me and they're like, you're living the life, you're retired, you don't need to work a job, you don't have a boss, why aren't you happy? And honestly, those were the questions I asked myself too. I'm like, why am I not happy? Like most people, they complain about their jobs and I don't have a job anymore. I'm supposed to be happy, but why am I so freaking miserable? Why am I depressed? Why am I so scared? Why am I always on edge? Why is my nervous system not calm? The reason is because my mindset was not yet there. I just retired before I was actually ready. I was ready financially, but mentally I was not there. So I kept questioning myself for years. I felt terrible about myself, even though on paper I'm supposed to be happy. So that is why I keep talking about mindset, because that is the missing puzzle. That's a missing puzzle piece for me. And that is what made me so miserable for such a long time. And even these days, like most days I'm okay, but some days I'm still questioning myself. I'm like, did I make the right